All right, all right. Hello, everybody. How we doing? How are we doing this fine Sunday evening? Was a great day in Southern California. It was a great weekend. It was nice and warm. Was able to get out in the sun a little bit. Uh, just chicks were wearing less. Just always appreciated. Just a little sun, little breeze, a little ice cream. Chicks like ice cream. Just watch. Ask Tony Montana. Chicks like ice cream. Wait for you guys to come on a little bit. There's a couple of you on right now. I want to start off by saying, everybody, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what we're all about. Over here in the little corner, you're going to see notifications. If you don't want to miss a new video, a new live, anything like that, if you want to make sure you're up on everything, Autumn Windbags and Raider related stuff, just go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification. You'll get notified whenever either RJ and I or both of us go live or drop a new video or whatever. A lot of stuff happening. Maybe not a lot of stuff that's going to impact on the field, but there's still a couple things to talk about. Ultimately, I want to get a lot of comments from you guys today because it's been kind of a slow week since the last time we talked, which was Thursday. Not a lot of stuff's happened. So I want to get a lot of your questions and comments and stuff like that because I want to know how you guys are feeling. But first thing is I want to couple things. Now, if you guys heard the show last week, RJ was like dead set that the Tom Brady deal was going to kill like players playing long and like cutting their career short so they can because everyone's getting fucking $50 million deals to be in the booth, right? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna freaking fly. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if that's gonna be the deal per se. But RG was all about fucking Tom Brady's deal being terrible for football. Now look, there's nothing to do with Tom Brady. I can give it two shits what that fucking guy does. Okay, I really don't care. The argument was because that deal was so large. How large? What? No, I was kidding. Because the deal was so big that it now has raised the bar for other deals. And I'm like, dude, that's just not the case. And we see that today. Drew Brees possibly out after 1 year at NBC. Well, let's talk about it. Because RJ, his feeling was this. Because Tom Brady got a $375 million deal for 10 years, so 30, you math majors out there, $37.5 million per year to be an analyst and an ambassador for Fox. Don't forget that. So two things. RJ felt that raised the bar for everybody else anyone who has any type of personality could go into the booth and make a huge amount of money. All right. I just don't think that's the case. All right. So you have to have the personality. You have to have a name, right? You have to be a big name. You have to have that drawing power. You have to be able to draw those non-football eyeballs. Okay. And RJ was trying to tell me, oh, it doesn't matter who's in the booth. NFL games are gonna, they don't change regardless of who's commentating. Yeah, but if you want that number to continue to rise, you have to continually get new eyeballs. And it's not all, and these new eyeballs aren't all NFL fans. So I had to ask myself, please, excuse me while I take a drink. I had to ask myself, how many players out there have that kind of weight where they can just move a needle, right? And it's not about moving the needle commentary-wise or analyst-wise. It's about moving the needle viewership-wise, sponsorship-wise, fucking shaking hands and kissing babies-wise, just being an all-out, just a whore for the network, right? The top guys that get paid, there's like one dude, one guy, okay? Amazon has what? Al Michaels, right? Fox has Aikman. CBS, CBS has Aikman. Fucking Fox has Brady. There's only so much to go around, right? Now, can you get a big dollar deal? Sure you can. But there's only one really big dollar deal per network that offers NFL football. Okay? The rest of the guys are just, fighting for the scraps down there. Like Dr. Mantis Toboggan here for the scraps. So, Drew Brees sent out it was rumored that Drew Brees was out after 1 year at NBC. Okay. Then he sends out this tweet that's like, I may go back to NBC. I may go back to football to be a quarterback again. I may join the pickleball tour, whatever the hell that is. He may play seniors golf. Like, he may do a lot of things, he said. His future is uncertain. Fine. Far be it from me to tell somebody what to do with their life. But I'll tell you one thing. If NBC was really that happy with Drew Brees, and Drew Brees was really that happy with the job, he wouldn't want to go anywhere else, right? Maybe pull a wild fucking hair out, okay? Maybe he just missed the game, and he's like, you know what? After this year off, I feel great. I can play another 5 years or whatever. Maybe that's the case. And maybe he just wasn't good enough, because I thought he was like a fucking wet salad, dude. He was just like, he wasn't a personality meant for the job. All right. Okay. Let's see what some of your comments are here. Let's see. William Merchant. Breeze got put out like the NFC Championship game as the Rams. I mean, so look, let's go back to this. Issue that I'm seeing here is, and this is the issue that I was trying to tell RJ. The reason why Tom Brady got so much is because Tom Brady is going to bring back tenfold in advertisements, corporate sponsorships, corporate dollars, all that stuff. And all that stuff is not, instead of all that stuff going through the NFL or through the Bucks, which gets kicked back to the NFL, all of that money is being funneled through Fox. So basically, he's being pimped out by Fox in this deal. When this deal starts, Brady's going to be pimped out by Fox. Brady can go to any corporate deal, like any corporate meeting, any corporate type of fundraiser, any type of what the fuck are those things called? Trade shows, any type of shit like that. Conferences, conventions, he can go to any type of thing. And he can just set up shop and just say, hey, I'm Tom Brady. And that's it. And he'll have a line longer than my dick. Okay? Just a line out the door of people wanting to be in the Tom Brady business. And then he'll have a bidding war because this guy is, fucking paints houses. And this other company paints houses too. Well, you know what? I want Tom Brady. No. I want Tom Brady. Guess what? Price goes up and up and up and up. And who gets a big fat chunk of that? Fox. Because they're going to buy airtime on Fox. Not only that, but we want Tom Brady to be our spokesperson. That's why he gets all that money. And now you tell me who out there, what other player out there is going to command that type of money for that type of influence? Nobody. There's nobody. Are you trying to say Denzel Perryman because nothing against Denzel Perryman as a man, as a person, but nobody knows who the fuck Denzel Perryman is. You have to be like either a Raider fan, a Charger fan, or like a really pretty astute football fan to know who Denzel Perryman is. Okay. It's just not it, man. It's just not going to happen. Right. Let's see here. Dark Raider. What do you think about McVay in the booth? He dropped another bit when talking to Rich when he retires. Look, man, I'll tell you something right now. Kroenke just signed McVay to a new deal. Okay. Kroenke has more money in the schmeg of his dick, okay, than I will ever earn in my entire life. All right? Let's just make that clear. Let's start off with that. Even with all that money, Kroenke is not going to want to give money to a guy who's not going to be there. All right? So before giving him this long-term, very lucrative deal, McVay's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's going to finish 75%, if not 80, 90, 100% of that contract. He's going to finish that contract, most of it out for sure. Okay? I don't see this happening until McVay wears out as a coach. Now, if he flames out as a coach, okay, then fine. Because look, these guys are competitive guys, man. These coaches, they're competitive guys. All right? They want to win. Okay? And that's one thing that RJ really didn't touch on, is these guys are competitive. They want to win. They don't want to be in the booth sitting down fucking like all buttoned up and talking about this and that and talking about other guys playing the game. They want to be there themselves, getting the wins themselves. And I just don't see McVay leaving anytime soon. Now, can he pull a John Gruden? Can he be a really big personality, fucking Chucky and all this stuff, and won a Super Bowl? And then now Gruden's career declined because he's not that good of a coach, and he took another person's team to the Super Bowl, and then he got progressively worse and worse and worse until he was fired. Now, once he was fired, then he went to the booth. I see that happening with McVay. I don't see him leaving on his own volition. When he's still winning games, I don't see him leaving. I just don't see it. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I just don't see it happening myself. All right. So, one other thing that I want to talk about is this. Okay, a New York Times article dropped. A former HR employee is saying that it was a toxic work environment working for the Raiders, and the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, unless you're RJ, which everyone knows what RJ's right hand is doing. Anyone that complained got fired. It was like just unpaid bills and blah, 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 and this and that. This actually goes to a lot of stuff that I talked about with RJ in the last show. Do you think, like, that's okay? Let's just address these things one by one. All right. No bill. The bills are going unpaid, right? Do you think Mark Davis, as the owner of the freaking Raiders, is sitting there cutting checks to his vendors or his electric bill? Or do you think he's actually doing that? Or is his finance team or accounting team, are they doing it? Yeah, it's not him, okay? I have a family member who's, got a little bit of cash. I don't know how many bills he sees. I don't know. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm sure things are taken care of. Especially his business. He's not cutting a check for his mortgage on his business or his rent. He's not cutting a check to keep the lights on himself. I'm sure he has an accountant department to do that. So let's slow down on Mark Davis being oblivious, okay? He's oblivious because that's not his fucking job to do. It's not his job to do that shit. It's his job to put people in that position. Now, along those lines, This was all this stuff that happened, all this stuff that was talked about in this article. I'm gonna say all, but most of it, almost all, maybe like 95% of it was stuff that happened in Oakland, wasn't in Vegas, right? Now, when you're in Oakland and you're not making any money because your stadium sucks dick and you got a shitty deal and everyone's screwing you around in Oakland and blah blah blah. Okay, fine. He had no other. He mean Mark Davis had no other ways to earn income. At least now he's got the stadium, which is full. That stadium, okay, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, is the busiest stadium in the NFL. That place stays packed every single night. There's something there, something. And that's good for the NFL because whenever owners make money, guess what? It's like the mob, right? A chunk gets kicked back upstairs. All right? Parking to stadium to concession fees to memorabilia to tours, all this shit. There's always something going on in that stadium. All right? Now, Mark Davis didn't have that ability in Oakland. So I could see where he was maybe a little bit more disconnected, maybe a little bit more lenient on guys that had been there for 10, 15, 20 years, right? Now, you go from Oakland to Las Vegas, brand new stadium, whole bunch of money coming in. You also buy WNBA team, another stream of income, right? So not only is the NFL team giving you income, but your stadium's giving you income and the parking and also, the new WNBA team. I don't know how much money that's going to make. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about women's sports here, okay? But once he moved from Oakland to Las Vegas, then you start seeing some changes up at the top, right? Hey, what's going on with our bills being paid? What's going on with our taxes? We're looking at all this stuff, and there's a lot of mess ups. Guess what? Finance team, bang, bang, bang. You guys are gone. President, you suck too. Get the hell out. Okay, it's under your watch. You got to go too. All right? There's that. You put in Ventrelli. I don't think that any of these issues brought up were anything not only that Mark Davis took seriously, but that he should have taken seriously. Because maybe it wasn't his doing. It was all done in the past with people that aren't in the organization anymore. Ventrelli went and cried little bitch to Big Daddy Goodell, and then he got fired. Now he's crying because of whatever. Anyway, all this stuff looks good for Mark Davis. That article that came out could have been damning because, oh yeah, he's a bad owner and this and that. But all that stuff happened in Oakland. Now, he comes to Las Vegas and he's cleaning house and he's getting a better executive staff up there. I don't see where this is bad for him, honestly. What comments do you guys have? Let's see here. No. We'll get to all that stuff, Carlos. You got some good questions. We'll get to that stuff right now. Before we go any further, one thing that I want to talk about here okay, so Gruden's lawsuit, I think it's a preliminary hearing to see if there's an actual basis for a lawsuit, and that preliminary hearing is set for May 25th. What are we going to find out in that hearing? Nothing new. Okay, nothing new is going to come out in that hearing. Basically, the prosecution side, which is Gruden, they're going to make a case as to why they're going to make the argument as to why there is a case and why it should be heard. The defense, which is Goodell's team, they're going to make a case as to why this is all bullshit and why it's not even a lawsuit and why it should be just swept under the rug. So, not sure who's going to win. It seems from the outside looking in, and maybe this is my silver and black tainted glasses, I think John Gruden has a case. Now, I'm not defending what John Gruden said in his emails or anything like that. What I'm saying is in the manner in which those emails were released and the fact that no other emails were released, it seems like he was targeted specifically by someone in particular and or the NFL. That's what it looks like to me. Not quite sure how this is going to go because legal proceedings can go either way, honestly. Let's see what we got here. For the truth, NFL tried to see the NFL is trying to like put a gag order on the proceedings so no one can hear what the hell's going on. And it's like, yeah, the only reason you want to do that is because you know you did some shady shit. And when the fact comes out, which is going to come out fairly soon, if there is it might be even the pretrial hearing, the fact that there was all these hundreds of thousands of emails and only 6 were released or something like that. I'm telling you, it's not going to look good. It just isn't. It's not going to look good for the NFL. There could be some other teams that get caught up in the mix. Who knows? But I'll tell you something right now. This is the worst fear of the NFL is to have its good old boys, the owners of the NFL get exposed for what they really are. All right? Let's see what we got going here. Hyperbolic says, strongly agree. Stuff like this happens all the time. The only reason it's so significant is because Davis is a Raiders owner, and we all know the whole classic Davis versus NFL thing. I agree. Unfiltered Truth again writes, Gruden going to demand access to all the emails. Well, yeah. Yeah. And we're going to have fun if and when they get leaked. Because we're going to figure out what's going on. And we might see very, very, very different NFL in the future. Gruden got this in the bag. I mean, I don't know, man. Here's the deal. The NFL reaches deep, son. The NFL reaches deep. And I can see them just kind of screwing this over like they did Sam Ace Rothstein in Casino, right? Hyperbolic. Unlike Al, NFL kind of likes Mark. If they didn't, they wouldn't have 31-32 owner allow Mark to move to Raiders to Vegas, host a Pro Bowl, draft, and the next Super Bowl. I don't know whether it is that they like Mark Davis so much as they like money. And they saw money in Vegas. And Vegas was a gamble. No pun intended. Moving a team to Vegas was a big gamble. And we're seeing a little bit right now about it because of some of the issues that some of the players are having. Okay. Could that have happened other places? Sure. But you also have to look at the timing of some of these things, how late things are open, the access to things, stuff like that. There's that. There's the whole, if you would have moved like the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. If you would have moved the Bengals to Las Vegas, it would be 80-20 the road team's fans, right? The only reason it's 60-40-ish is because it's the Raiders, and the Raiders travel, right? And it's the close proximity to LA and to Oakland. That's the only reason why it's 70-30, 60-40. If not, it would be like 80-20 the opposite way because there's all that's going to be at the stadium is local Las Vegas people and then aftermarket road teams because like, hey, we can go to Vegas, watch our team play and have a little fun that weekend, right? So very few teams in the NFL could have made that Las Vegas move work, right? So do they really like Mark Davis or do they tolerate him because he's bringing them a lot of money? I think it's the money part, personally. Mark Davis did the smart thing. He went to Jerry Jones. got a couple of freaking scotches poured out, and said, "Man, what do I got to do to get this stadium done?" Jerry Jones is like, "First, let's go fuck these hoes, and then I'll tell you." And that's exactly what happened. Him and Jerry hooked up. They talked about it. What do I got to do? Can you back me? Kiss the ring, all this bullshit, right? Jerry vouched for Mark Davis and for the plan moving forward of how the new stadium in Vegas can make the NFL a ton more money, which is exactly what it's doing. And the city of Vegas has embraced the Raiders. It's still a West Coast team. It's easy access, kind of like RJ's butt, to Vegas and back, from LA, from San Diego, from Oakland, from all parts in between. That's why it was a good move. It's not because they like Mark Davis. I don't think it's because of that. I think it's because they saw the opportunity and they knew that the Raiders would be one of the teams in the NFL to be able to handle that kind of move and still get good travel. What else we got going here? Yeah, Dark Raider. Like I said, Jerry Jones had a lot to do with it. It wasn't because he liked Mark Davis. It's because Jerry Jones is one of the most powerful owners in the NFL. And he knows he has a lot of, dealings with a lot of the other owners, and he has a lot of weight. So Mark Davis did the right thing, man. He went to the dude. He didn't go to the dude next to the dude. He went to the dude himself and said, "Man, what do I got to do to get this happening?" Jerry Jones told him what he needed to do. Mark followed the whole game plan to the T, and that's what happened. And he got it to go through. So this should be interesting, man. That's in 10 days. So it's like what, next Wednesday or Thursday, something like that? May 25th. So we'll see what happens, man. It should be pretty cool. Oh yeah, that is true too. His catering company is working Allegiant Stadium. Jerry Jones's. Dude, it's all about you have to pay somebody, right? You have to pay somebody's company to do something. It's all about just pushing dollars around. You got to pay some company to do the catering, to do like the food for your stadium. Might as well be another NFL owner so he can double dip. He gets money collectively put in the pot for the NFL, which is distributed amongst the teams, and then he gets more money for having his catering company serve the food at Allegiant Stadium. It's like, come on, man. It's all good. This is what you got to do in the NFL. Of other truth, I think we're on the same page here. Mark is letting everyone get a taste of his market. Yeah, it's true. And I don't think every other owner in the NFL would have been so agreeable to kind of be like, look, man, there's a lot to go around. I want to get my big bite, but you guys can have a nibble. Because guess what? It's shit that I need anyway. Right? He needed a caterer. He has Jerry Jones. Who else knows what other company he has doing solar crap here? And this company did this. This company is doing the maintenance. This company is doing this. It's all these NFL guys, man. It's all these NFL guys. And it's fine. That's what you want to do. That's how you want to build a group of friends that everyone helps each other eat. If it's stuff you need anyway, you might as well give it to your friends. In this case, the other NFL owners. All right. Hyperbolic has a question here. Do you think in the nearby future we'll all see Mark at least, I think what you meant, at least grow as a decent NFL owner or possibly a really good one? I see him doing a really good job right now because he's doing things the right way. He's letting other owners nibble off of his franchise, and it's not taking anything away from his franchise. It's things he would have to pay for anyway, right? I see him doing a smart job, man. That stadium, his marketing team is killing it because that place is packed every single night. When I went there, they had that fucking K-pop band. I don't know how that's called, but they had this. I was playing poker with this chick who was there for the K-pop band. She was an adult Caucasian female from, I think, Whittier, who went to see a K-pop band in Vegas. That's like, it couldn't have been more different demographic. She was like in her late 20s. She wasn't Asian or Korean, really, more specifically. And she went to go see a K-pop band. Weird. But that's the kind of draws, that's the kind of attractions they bring to Allegiant Stadium. It's almost every single night. When they don't do that, they're doing tours, they're doing corporate events, and all kinds of crazy stuff over there. So you gotta know that they're making all kinds of money on this stadium, hand over fist. Somebody's getting a taste of that, and it's the NFL. Luke Atkinson, Kraft would have done the catering if there was messages. Yeah, right. Oh, Jesus. Finish with again. All he needs to do is win now. Mark has made things happen. Yeah, man. Look, we got to look back, and we have to look at Mark Davis as an owner right now and be like, man, he's really making shit happen, dude. The team's on the upswing. He's cleaning house up top. You can't put all this crap on Mark Davis as far as the work environment. If the work environment was toxic, Mark Davis has been the owner for what? 15 years, maybe 10? When did Al Davis die? Like 10 years ago? 12 years ago? Something like that? That's how long he was the owner. People that are saying that Mark Davis is screwed when it comes to all this stuff is because they want Mark Davis out for whatever reason. Yes, he's kind of goofy. Yes, he has a goofy haircut. Yeah, he doesn't present himself as a billionaire. But what does that matter? Mark Davis or Mark Cuban's the same shit. Goofy haircut, kind of a weirdo like looking dude. Doesn't dress like a freaking billionaire. Who knows, man? Okay. I agree, Lee Walker. The NFL doesn't make money off non-NFL events at your stadium. But what the NFL does make money on is NFL entities. So if things are sold at that event, they may not make money off of the ticket sales, but I'm sure they make money off of other things. You're telling me the NFL is going to give this team a new stadium and not get a piece of it? I don't think so. All right, moving along here now. Sad day. It was a sad day. It had to happen, and I'm not saying that it was a terrible thing or it was a great thing, but we lost one of our own earlier this week. Brian Edwards, if you didn't hear, Brian Edwards was traded along with a conditional 7th round pick to the Atlanta Falcons for a 5th round pick, reuniting him with Marcus Mariota. What could have been? Moment of silence for Brian Edwards as the Las Vegas Raider. All right. That draft was absolutely horrible. So that was a 2020 draft. Let's take a look, shall we? Meet the 2020 Raiders draft class. All righty. I remember Mike Mayock said that having 5 picks in the first 3 rounds was like stealing. He had 7 picks, all in the first 4 rounds, nothing after round 4. All right. But it was like stealing. Let's take a look at this draft class. So the 2020 draft class that got them picks for different players and picks for trading away your franchise wide receiver, and you traded different picks away to get this person and that person, and now we got all these high draft picks. We got 7 draft picks in the first 4 rounds. Now, in the first round, we selected Henry Ruggs III, who is no longer playing football. The second pick in the first round, we picked Damon Arnett, who last I saw is not signed with the team, so he's not playing football right now. Our third round pick was Lynn Bowden II, or Lynn Bowden Jr., who plays for Miami. Our next third round pick was Brian Edwards, who was recently traded to Atlanta. You guys catching a theme here? Our next third round pick, Tanner Muse, didn't play a snap. Not one snap for the Raiders. I think he was on the Seahawks practice squad or something like that, I think last I heard. Our fourth round pick, first one, was John Simpson, who, depending on what you want to look at, is a fringe backup, maybe possibly going to be a starter, more than likely going to be a backup, right? And then Amik Robertson, who had a good game against the Chargers, against Mike Williams and the Chargers, but kind of more off than on type of guy. This has to be, it's 2022, people. This was like 3 draft classes ago. So our 2020 draft class, 2021 draft, our 2020 draft class. I don't think any one of these guys, honestly, if I'm being objective here, is going to get a second contract. 2 of the guys didn't really even get a first contract. It's got to be one of the worst drafts in the NFL. This has to be one of the worst drafts in the history of the NFL. Yo, Jorge, what's up, baby? How's it going, man? Carlos Sanfuego, I believe it's Cowboys taking away Raiders fans from the Los Angeles area. That's how there's a Cowboys fans. And there's always been Cowboys fans in California. My homeboy, Chris, I don't think he's ever watched a football game. He's a Cowboys fan. Don't ask me how. Juan, big fan of your show. We'd love to have you on mine. Cool. Hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter. Slide me a DM. We'll talk. Hyperbolic. At that point, you can't even be mad, but just sadly disappointed how anyone defended the Gruden Mayock experiment just because they had some really good late picks. Who were the really good late picks? There was like 2 of them, right? There was Crosby and Renfro. That's 2. You had 2 first-round picks, 3 third-round picks. None of those players are with the team anymore. This has got to be, what did you get besides cap space for trading away Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper? Really nothing. It's been bad, man. It's been really bad. And for all these people that were trying to defend Mayock and Gruden about this and that, and they were trending in the right direction. They were trending in the right direction in spite of themselves, not because of themselves. Let's just be honest, okay? You cannot, and this is what I talk about, guys. When I talk about Gruden being a firework, is he pops off and he gets to a height and then it drops off. How do you drop off is by not being able to get a consistent roster together that builds over time. You're always constantly patching a roster together. Why do you have to do that, you ask? It's because fucking, 5 out of your 7 draft picks, right, which were in the first 3 rounds, are no longer with your team 2 years later. That's how you don't sustain success. Now, this is kind of like the smoking gun, because his other draft class, his being Gruden and Mayock, their other draft classes have been a smaller example of this. But this is what they've been. This is what they've been. Guys who come in, who play okay, who aren't really great starters on their team that they use a lot of good capital on, who they're paying a lot of money to, and are no longer with the squad. And they can't help us now. The way you build success over time is these players. There's a core group of players who stay on that team for years, and that core group of players, those guys are guys that build the culture throughout the years. If you're constantly turning over rosters, you're going to have infighting, you're going to have different culture clashes, you're going to have different schemes because the guys are different productivity. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how we think that we can sustain success having these, freaking like just mess ups like this. It's freaking crazy. Let's look at the year before. Let's see if we can find the year before. All right, the 2019 draft class. Let's just look at it for example, okay? Cleveland Farrell, probably going to get either cut, traded. Is not definitely not going to get another contract, okay? Josh Jacobs, probably going to get traded or not offered another contract after this year. Jonathan Abram, same. Those are 3 first-round draft picks. All the 5th years were declined. 5th-year extensions were declined on each one of them for a reason, okay? Trayvon Mullen, I think he's a guy that can stay or go, right? He hasn't been able to stay healthy. His play when he was on the field has sometimes been really good, sometimes been just okay. Max Crosby, bam, nailed it, right? Okay. Isaiah Johnson, not with the team anymore. Foster Moreau, up and down. We'll see how he does. If he does sign another contract, it's not going to be for any type of real money. Hunter Renfrow, bam, nailed it, right? Quentin Bell, who? Well, he's not around either. Let's look at the 2021 draft class, shall we? Because we're going to do all this crap. Talk about all this stuff. Raiders 21 draft class. Alex Leatherwood, who was the worst rated right tackle in the NFL. And he was an okay right guard. He should have been at right guard because his play stinks. Put some of that right guard on your play instead of your armpits. Trevon Merrick, boom, nailed it. Future star right there. Malcolm Kuntz, potential to be a future star. Divine Diablo, solid performer. Looking for big things from him. Tyree Gillespie, I have high hopes for Tyree Gillespie. Nate Hobbs, nailed that pick with Nate Hobbs. Jimmy Morrissey has gone somewhere else. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad, man. Well, 4. Okay, if we're being honest, 3 guys have performed. 2 guys have good potential. Alex Leatherwood is just ain't it. Too inconsistent, man. Inconsistency will kill you. Bum, crummy guard, should be on left side. You know what? That's what I was thinking too, unfiltered truth. I was thinking that Leatherwood should go play left guard where he's more comfortable and he's playing next to our best lineman. If not, then don't play. I don't know. You tell me. Another thing coming up I wanted to talk about because it's not all been doom and gloom here. A name from the past is back. Tyrone Wheatley Jr. has signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. His dad, Tyrone Wheatley Sr., running back, played for Michigan, big, huge, fast, bruising back. He was kind of like a Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry. Like he was a big, fast, strong back. Just so happened that he had Napoleon Kaufman at sometimes. He had other running backs that took a lot of carries, but it's okay because He was freaking legit. He played, I think, five seasons, 78 games, something like that. 3,600 yards, something like that. A ton of touchdowns. Like almost, he averaged a touchdown like every other game for us. So his son, who was a tight end in college, converted to be a tackle, played with some semi-pro team or some pro team somewhere else in like some other league. Then got picked up last year by the Bears, and then was signed to their practice squad. I think Champ Kelly was a GM or in some type of player personnel position or scout position with the Bears. Knows Tyrone Whitley Jr. well. Bring him in. We need some help at offensive line. I was asked last week, what do I think about like the 17 or so linemen that we have fighting for 7 spots? And truly, they're fighting for 7 to 8 spots on Sundays because that's your active roster. You're only going to have like 7 or 8 offensive linemen. You're not going to have a ton of linemen, right? So, what does that mean? That means competition, baby. I love competition. You guys know I'm a USC fan, USC football fan. When they thrived, it was all about, okay, we have the best recruits. You guys are, no one here is guaranteed a job. Everyone here has to fight for their position. And that's the way it should be. No one should come in with a job. You fight for the job, and the best man wins. That's how I feel. I don't know what you guys think. That's what I think. Especially on the offensive line. You want to get young, continuity, pay them cheap, stock them deep. This is what you got to do. Have them compete, and the best guys win. The guys that you have that don't win, you either keep them on the bench or you flip them for picks and stockpile some more. There's 2 things that you can never have enough of. It's DBs and offensive linemen. Could never have enough because those dudes, they drop like flies, and they the offense, the way that the offense in the NFL is going, you better be able to protect the quarterback, and you better be able to defend the pass. So those are 2 position groups where you can never have enough. See what you guys have to say. Luke Atkinson with a $5 super chat. Thanks, buddy. Let's hope McDaniel's draft this year is better. It makes me sad seeing the drafts Gruden and Mayock did. Granted, all in the later rounds. Well, they did some damage in the later rounds, but they wasted all those first round picks, man. They wasted all those first round picks they got. It was a sad situation. Steve Merlat, good content. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, Steven. Appreciate you, man. It really, I'm not this freaking media guy like RJ is, and I get on. I talk to people on the mic every single day. I don't do that. I do this like twice a week. I do it on my show right now, and then I do it with RJ once a week to record a show. So I appreciate that you like the content. I try to make good content for you, an entertaining show for you guys. So thank you, I appreciate it. Carlos Fuego, steady facts about Mike Mayock draft pick. So 1 fire for you, bro. Radiation for life, fire, trophy, championship, mark it down. Lee Walker, fight on, baby. You know it, fight on. Edgar Bonilla, SoCal from Texas, baby. Yeah, bro, Edgar. I was in Dallas a lot over a few years ago. And I fell in love with this place called Hard 8 Smokehouse. The Hard 8 Smokehouse. It's like a barbecue place. This was freaking amazing, dude. It's like, if you've never had Texas barbecue, there's just like this big homemade smoke pit, right? Like easily 15 to 20 feet long, probably a good 8 feet deep. And there's anything you can have, it's on there. They got tri-tip, they got brisket, they got ribs, they got turkey breast, they got chickens, they got jalapeno poppers, they got shrimp poppers, they have corn, beans, they got all kinds of crap. And you just walk in and be like, bam, give me that. And there's dude who's chilling with the big apron on, and he's like, oh, I have a half an order of this and a couple of bones of ribs, and I'll do this. And you just and you know how you pay? They take your tray and they fucking weigh it, and then that's what they charge you off the weight. It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. I love it. I love Texas barbecue. Derek Brigenti, I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm excited to see Cole work with Carr. He had a good connection with Minshew, better separation than Edwards. Yeah. So getting back getting back to the Bryan Edwards thing, it does appear that Atlanta is going for a specific type. Big, tall receivers who can go up and get it. Maybe because Marcus Mariota is not that accurate. But you have Kyle Pitts, just drafted Drake London, traded for Bryan Edwards. These are all big, fast pass catchers who can go up and get the ball. Makes sense, right? If you're going to go after a big, tall receiver, those big, tall receivers are more scarce than small, quick guys, right? You can always find smaller, quick guys. But those big, tall receivers, they have a type that they're looking for, right? Kind of like RJ. He likes them, I know what kind of girls RJ likes. His wife basically is like the encompass of that, who is a very good friend of mine as well. Rod Gas. Shout out for Mexico Red Nation for life. Your input on Shoe to the Raiders. On Shoe? I don't know what you mean. Sorry. Hyperbolic says McDaniel Ziegler regime is definitely making a statement that the trenches win you games in their top 10 and spending cap on defense, running backs, tight ends right now. Yeah. I think what they're trying to do, they being McDaniels and Ziegler, is they're trying to shore up the lines. And every now and then get a piece. We added some pieces in the secondary. We had our linebacking group is completely different, and they are fucking ballers. We got a bunch of ballers in our linebacking crew now. Every one of them except for Denzel Perryman, and you got to have one hammer there. So I agree with this, but everyone except for Perryman can play the run and play the pass just as good. A lot of good guys on the linebacking core. I'm really excited about our linebacking core this year. Denzel Perryman isn't the greatest against the pass, but he is a thumper against the run. Our defensive tackle, look, we talked about the battle at offensive line. The battle at the interior defensive line is going to be just as hot. We got ballers there too, man. So we're shoring up these lines. What are we going to do with that, right? You have a line where you have some continuity for years to come. Now, does that mean that everyone's going to stay together for the next 5 years? No, you're going to have some turnover, right? But by and large, you're going to have your guys that you can count on for years to come. Shore that up, then you can tinker out elsewhere, right? Sue, Ndamukong Suh, gotcha. He said shoe. I was like, Sue. Okay, now I get it. Sue to the Raiders. Ndamukong Suh is not much of a pass rusher anymore. He's more of a run stopper, which is fine. He would still probably be the best interior defensive lineman pass rusher. I think he might command a little bit more money than we're willing to spend, even at his age. He took a team-friendly deal last year with the Bucs because he wanted to win another ring. I don't know, man. If we got him, it would be a win for us for sure, because he is not only he's a veteran presence, he's a respected player in the league. As far as personally, I mean, he did stomp a guy's head in, I think, once. But he's a fiery guy. You go out there and fight. He's produced in the league. He's a winner. I don't see why there would be any negative having him on the team if we can afford him, if we can do a good deal. Definitely. Carlos Fuego, wait, stop. Wasn't last year's draft to do the defensive coordinator that left? Yeah, but you know what? A lot of those pieces still transfer over, right? Divine Diablo is a perfect fit for Graham's linebacking scheme. A smaller, quicker linebacker who's smart, can play the pass. That's Divine Diablo. Good. He's also got a really good like mentality to him. Him and Hobbs were like, I don't care. I'm not waiting my turn. I'm a rookie, but I'm getting mine now, right? You got Gillespie out there. You got Kuntz. Those guys are a wait and see. I do really still have high hopes for Gillespie because Gillespie was a straight baller in college. A baller. He didn't test all that great, but the film showed a different story, a different speed, right? And he was hurt last year. It happens. Come back this year. If he's hurt again this year, okay, you know what? It's just not going to happen. We have to move on. But if he plays, I think he's going to play well. I think Kuntz, if he gets more snaps, gets more repetition, he now has a guy in Chandler Jones and Max Crosby who could take him under their wing, mentor him a little bit. I see that being a big positive for Malcolm Kuntz. All around, I think it's just going to be, and we talk about Merrick. Merrick is going to be a stud. He just needs to get out there and play more. He already played really well last year, so I think all those pieces can still play well in the new Graham scheme. Ian Glazer, go Raiders. Go Raiders, go. Come on, man. We don't say that. Go Raiders, go. You're trolling me. I love it. Go Raiders. Let's see what we got going here. Ndamukong sub. You guys are killing me with these typos. Sue retired. Yeah, he's older, man. He might have. Did Chuck Norris die? Dominic, yeah, Rod, I hope that I answered your question, man. I think it'd be a good get if we can get him. There's Hefe. Chiefs, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Low, high ceiling on win total. I can see us being anywhere from 9 wins to 12 wins this year. Yeah, I would say in that 9 to 12 range. For sure. If we win 12, 11 or 12, I think we're taking the division for sure. There's been a lot of turnover in this division, man. A lot of turnover. As dynamic a play caller as Andy Reid has been, his weapons are going to be a lot different. He doesn't have a guy that can do both at the same time, that can go deep and who can also use his quickness to get open over the middle. He has 2 guys that do that now, so they're not the same threat because they're not the same person. It's 2 different guys doing it. So the Chiefs' offense looks to be a little bit different. Who knows, man? Who knows? The division is up in the air. I'm not really sold on the Broncos. When Russell Wilson was winning all these games and going to Super Bowls, it was Marshawn Lynch and the defense, the Legion of Boom. That was what was carrying him. With all the weapons, the 2 receivers he had last year, Lockett and Metcalf, he was, he didn't win a lot of games, man. Defense let him down. So he goes to a situation on a defense that wasn't as good as the Legion of Boom, with offensive weapons that weren't as good as what he had when he was with the Seahawks. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. Oakland Raider alumni. Are you an ex-player? Carr is never going to win a playoff game. Let's hope you're wrong, buddy. Do I think Brian Edwards does good in Atlanta? I don't know, man. I really like Brian Edwards, but it's too many of the same type of player who plays the same position. We'll see about the scheme that they run. If they're doing a more running type of offense, they got Ritter over there, who is a running quarterback who can throw, kind of like a Mariota. Maybe they do more of a hybrid type of, like we talked about Russell Wilson with the RPO action. If he can stay healthy, man, we'll see. But I just think the separation was the issue with Brian Edwards, man. He just couldn't get separation. Oh, Rod, killing him. Oh, you guys can read that. Yeah. Luke Atkinson. Even with the turnover and being the toughest division, it's going to be tough. It is going to be hard. We have a whole new regime to deal with. Herbert will be good. Herbert's got to win, man. Herbert's got to win, or he's going to be like a Dan Marino, where his stats are great, but what does his team do, right? If his loudmouth head coach would stop being such an idiot, they may win. I think the coach lost the Chargers like 3 games last year by himself. Any surprise cuts? Who? Edgar Bonilla. Surprise cuts. Offensively, I can see a surprise cut being like Brandon Parker, because we just signed him to a bigger deal. If Leatherwood doesn't improve, I can see him maybe being a cut. Let's see. Abram, his health issues, if he doesn't improve his play, maybe. I see maybe even a Denzel Perryman being a cut, because he can't play if he can't play in this defensive scheme and Graham scheme. I'm telling you guys, he plays a lot of cover 2. In cover 2, the linebacker shoots back and plays the deep middle. And if you can't play the pass all that well, you really can't play in this defense. Now, Graham does use a thumping safety, so maybe you can do kind of a switcheroo on that. Not the kind of switcheroo you're thinking about, but a switcheroo where you switch spots, where the linebacker stays in to play the run or more closer to the line of scrimmage. But that's tough, because then he's going to have to be covering a lot of fast linebackers. Who knows? Offensively, yeah, I said, a couple of offensive linemen. Maybe I don't think Foster Moreau makes that much money. That's why I don't think it's going to happen. Those are probably the only ones, man. As far as surprising cuts go, the other guys are guys that can go. Luke Atkinson, $10 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the super chat. Breakout player for the Raiders, rookie or free agent? That's a good one, man. If I'm going to cheat, I'm going to say Divine Diablo. If I'm going to cheat. Rookie who has a breakout player. I like Trey Turner, man, at receiver. I like he's a tough guy. He's like a Hines Ward type. I hate Hines Ward. I hate that dude. I think he was a dirty player. People want to say, oh, he's a tough player. He blocks. Yeah, he did dirty blocks and freaking broke people's jaws from like hitting them while he was like sneaking up and blocking them when they weren't looking. Shit. Like those crackback blocks, those blocks are illegal in the NFL now because of Hines freaking Ward blocking downfield like that. He's a dirty player. But as a receiver, he was tough, man. He went over the middle. He got those tough yards. He was hard to bring down. That's Trey Turner. I think he may be able to make the team and do a really good job. Paul Lamau, the safety, kind of a safety linebacker hybrid out of SC. I've seen him play a lot. He's got a good player, man. He's a good player. Parham, our first pick in the 3rd round. I can see him starting and just being the guy. The thing is we don't need guys to wait their turn. What are the things that Crosby, Renfro, Diablo, and Hobbs, and to an extent too, what's his name? God damn it, my fucking brain, it's freaking fried. I've been here for an hour already. Merrick. Those guys weren't waiting their turn. Divine Diablo didn't get on the field because the coaches were stupid. Once he got on the field, he didn't let that job go. Because Littleton was making so much money, they kept pushing Littleton out there, even though he was dog shit, right? Once Divine Diablo got out there, that was his job, and Littleton wasn't getting back on the field. He was playing special teams, right? So we need young players. Don't wait your turn, right? That's why I respect John Morant so much, the player from the Memphis Grizzlies. Dude ain't waiting his turn, man. He's going out there and he's getting it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what rep you have. I'm going out there and I'm getting mine, right? Once you get on the field, don't ever let anyone take you off. And that's what these young guys got to think about. So I do see like Parham being a good one. Undrafted free agents. There's Turner, Polomau. Those are a couple guys that I think can make some noise. Nutty Raider Nate. Drake could get cut. I don't know what the salary cap implications on that would be. I don't know how much of his contract is guaranteed. But yeah, he could get cut. I don't know how much of a surprise it'd be, though, honestly. DJ Godzilla. If we do end up signing Ndamukong Suh, who you think could get cut? Any one of the new guys that we got a defensive tackle. Anyone. Even Hankins, who we just re-signed. Any of those guys can go. We got a couple of young guys, interior defensive linemen in the draft. How many interior defensive linemen do you need? We had a ton last year. We ended up using maybe like 3 or 4 who were like really good playmakers. Jefferson, Thomas, I forgot his last name. Sorry out there. I forgot your name. Matt Marinovich, Bradbury, Aguilar, Darrell Williams can put us over the top. I don't. Aguilar maybe. There's not a lot of catches out there for Aguilar right now. He's not going to play the X because that's going to be Devontae Adams. The slot's going to be. I mean, Cole. We have Cole now. I don't know, man. I don't. Aguilar didn't do shit with the freaking Pats. Bradbury. If we get Bradbury from 2 years ago, cool. Bradbury last year was hit and miss. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm freezing up bad. Sorry, Marvin. Maybe it's because my internet is ass. You only saving $250K cutting Drake? Then don't do it. You're already going to pay the money. Might as well have somebody there playing for it. I had one more thing to talk about, but we'll talk about that on Wednesday, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, we've been here already. It's my time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also, down in the corner, click on the notifications so you get notified whenever either an Autumn Windbags video comes out or when myself or RJ go live. We couldn't do this without you guys. Really appreciate it. Go support the Raiders content creators because we're all doing a great job for you guys. Much love and appreciation. We got over 3,000 subscribers already, and that's all because of you guys. Much appreciated, man. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your haters, tell your mamas, tell everybody about the Autumn Windbags. And I talked about it last week about getting shit for saying go Raiders because that's what I say. It's not like a chant that we say as a group in front of a crowd. That's not what we say. But what we do say is Raiders. I'll see you guys later this week.